You're still on the Afia Business Morning, and you're welcome back to Opening Bell on channel 254 DSTV and, of course, 17 Go TV and 748 Free TV. I'm Nnamdi Obaya. The United States of America recently made it even harder for Nigerians to travel there with new fees, increasing old ones, as well as some new stringent conditions. Recently, countries like Thailand and UAE did the same thing. Is the world getting tired of Nigerians? Let's get into it. Now, Nigerians are some of the most traveled people in Africa and probably rank highly in the world. It's not that we have a culture like the British of going on holidays, even though that is common amongst the elite and well-to-do in society, with the US, UK, and Dubai being some top destinations. And recently, other African countries have become destinations of choice for holiday seekers, with South Africa, Kenya, and more recently, Rwanda, and even next door, Ghana, becoming less stressful options to American, European, and Asian destinations. Now, the reasons for these options are not far-fetched. Yes, these countries have ramped up aggressive policy-driven tourism-based initiatives to attract foreign investors. Like South Africa, they push the rainbow nation of various ethnicities, vibrant cultures, beautiful scenery on the Cape Coast in Durban and Johannesburg, as well as nightlife and hospitality, with a strategy that involves the government, private sector hospitality players, and of course, South Africa Airways. For Rwanda, it's ecotourism with their gorilla population, a key attraction, though Kigali now boasts a teeming nightlife and world-class hospitality. And of course, there's Rwanda Air. Kenya, in its own part, is famous for wildlife tourism with one of the largest variety of animals. And Ghana have decided to latch onto a history, the history of slavery, and of course, take advantage of the economy along their coast to draw tourists, particularly black people from North America. And of course, there are others like Zanzibar in Tanzania and the Seychelles, which are mainly known for their waterfront experiences. And of course, the reasons for all this have to do with things like our currency being more viable in those places than going abroad, which is of course UK, US, where our currency will give you a little bit of issues when you're now converting from Naira to UK pound or euro or dollar. But majority of Nigerians are not known for traveling to see the sights. Most of our travel is done to bridge a gap left here in Nigeria. ASU strikes and lack of development and decay in the educational sector has led to a mass exodus of the brightest brains, seeking greener education pastures in every possible country in the world, even the non-English speaking ones. Even with the high cost and the low Naira valuation, people beg, steal, and borrow just to give themselves a better life, just a chance for a better life. Now, according to UNESCO data, and sadly this is from 2021, and there is no real accurate capture, but estimated that by now, over 100,000 Nigerian students are enrolled in foreign universities, and this was even at that time. And the number has been steadily increasing, with the UK, US, Canada, and Australia being the top destinations of choice. Now, the UK saw a 64% increase recently in 2023-2024, while the number of students at US universities grew by 22.2% in 2023-2024. Now, Nigeria is ranked 7th globally for the number of students in US universities, and we currently have over 20,000 Nigerian students there, up from just over 17,000 in 2024. And to prove we are losing our best, nearly 40% of Nigerian students who are jackpying are doing so with scholarships, even though many of these scholarships are funded by oil revenue, which I believe should be used to fund the local education institutions. And it's not just education. People are traveling for health reasons. We recently witnessed that former President Buhari passed away in the UK after undergoing treatment there. Many Nigerians said if he had fixed the local health sector, he would not have had to travel. And even his own spokesperson, Femi Adesina, admitted that if he had been undergoing treatment in Nigeria, he would have died sooner. And the trend hasn't stopped, with current President Bola Tinubu jetting out to France every AK market day for one treatment or another. Now, the most common reason for leaving, though, the economy. Nigerians like to japa. We have a large and ever-growing diaspora population with an estimated size of 15 to 20 million people, with some estimates far exceeding the 20 million, and that's, of course, depending on who you ask. We are bleeding doctors, with 1 in 3 Nigerian trained doctors currently in another country. And it's not as if the process is easy. And it's not just doctors. Professors, scientists, nurses, teachers, you name it, they are all running. So if Nigeria is providing these countries with our best, why does it seem as if everyone is tired of us now? Just recently, the US announced that Nigerians applying for non-immigrant visas will now only get single-entry 3-month visas instead of a 2-year visa validity with multiple entries, claiming this was to reciprocate Nigeria's visa policy for Americans. President Tinubu has immediately denied that Nigerians treat Americans this way. But more followed. The US then increased fees, introduced new ones, and tightened procedures. Then we started to get the true picture. We started hearing of threats of life bans for overstaying visas. Then the US later said the decision was part of a broad decision to review its visa processes globally. Then, of course, they even started considering a 5% tax on all diaspora remittances. And who can blame them? Remittances from the diaspora has crossed $90 billion in just 5 years, with the figure now crossing $600 million monthly. Who would want that kind of money to leave their country for free? I'm Donald Trump. That money is not leaving the country like that. There is nobody that will let the money leave like that. Well, except for Nigeria. But I digress. All this from the US is coming just after the UAE also placed an embargo on Nigerian visitors, which till today, nobody knows what the exact position is. But the presidential spokesman, Bayo Ononuga, are saying one thing, and the UAE quickly refuting it. And there was even the issue with Thailand, which required all sorts of clearances from all sorts of institutions and agencies. Foreign Affairs Ministry, Police, EFCC, NDLEA, EZMO, you get my drift. Even African countries are beginning to process us differently, treat us somehow. So why is the world getting tired of us? Well, it could be our penchant for illegal immigration, which usually involves overstaying visas, working on visiting visas, engaging in all manner of vices from internet and other scams. I mean, think of Hush Puppy in Dubai. Remember that very, very famous issue with Hush Puppy and the Hush Puppy arrest? You know, to prostitution, to cultism in Italy, to all manner of cult clashes in Malaysia. Dubai and South Africa are heavy involvement in trafficking of drugs, particularly in Southeast Asia, despite their death penalty. Of course, this is what led to the Thailand conditions. That's another big problem. All this and the fact that the Nigerian government has little or nothing to leverage with in the global diplomatic space. So it's either we get things right here, or very soon, we will all be in Togo and Cameroon looking for a better life. And just as we did Ghana must go, we too will get Nigeria must go. And I'll leave it at that.